Hey there, welcome back. I'm Flat Rate Mechanic, and today we're diving into a common issue that can leave you scratching your head. What to do when your Honda's battery light comes on and how to test your charging system. Have you ever been driving and that little light pops up on your dashboard, making you wonder if you're about to get stranded? Well, stick around because I'm going to help you troubleshoot this like a pro, and it might just save you some serious cash. First up, let's talk about what that battery light really means. When it lights up, it's your Honda's way of saying, hey, something's wrong with the charging system. Now, don't panic and rush to assume your alternator's toast. It's not always that dramatic. The charging system involves three main components: the battery, the alternator, and the wiring that connects them. So it could be any one of those. Now, here's a quick warning for you. If that battery light's glowing, avoid long drives. Your car's running solely on battery power, and once that battery dies, you could be left stranded. Best to diagnose this as soon as possible. You might notice some common symptoms. Your headlights may be dimming, or your dashboard lights could be flickering. And if the light comes on when you're idling but disappears when you rev the engine, that's often a classic sign of a failing alternator, or maybe just a loose belt. Now, before you jump to any conclusions or consider replacing parts, let's check the basics. First, check those battery terminals. This is something many people overlook, and you'd be surprised how many alternators have been replaced when all that was needed was a good cleaning. Pop your hood and take a good look at your battery. Are there any white, green, or blue crusty buildups? That's corrosion, and it can block the electrical current. Even a little bit can cause major issues. To clean them, grab a wire brush and let's get to work. First, disconnect the negative terminal. Remember, that's the black one. Loosen it, wiggle it off, and set it aside safely. Then do the same with the positive. Now scrub both the terminals and battery posts until you see shiny metal. If there's heavy corrosion, you might want to mix some baking soda with water to neutralize it. Just make sure everything's dry before reconnecting. When reconnecting, tighten those terminals down really well. A loose connection can create the same symptoms as corrosion. Oh, and a little dielectric grease on top afterward can help prevent future corrosion. Alright, you've cleaned the terminals. Now let's see if that battery light's still on. You'd be amazed how often this simple step solves the issue. But if the light's still on, we need to move on to testing the charging system voltage. For this, you'll need a multimeter, an essential tool for any DIYer. You can pick one up for about $20. With the engine off, your battery should read between 12.4 and 12.8 volts. If it's below that, your battery might be weak or dying. Now start the engine and check the voltage again. You want to see it between 13.8 and 14.5 volts. That means your alternator is charging the battery. If it's still reading at 12.4 to 12.8 volts with the engine running, that's a red flag. Your alternator might not be working. Remember, don't just rev the engine and assume all is well. You need to check it at idle too. A faulty alternator can charge fine at high RPMs but fail when you're sitting still at a light. If you find out that the alternator isn't charging, before you make that costly purchase, let's check the ground connections and wiring. This is another area where many DIYers miss the mark. A bad ground connection can mimic a bad alternator. Locate the negative battery cable and find where it bolts to the chassis, often around the battery area. Is it tight? Is there corrosion? Make sure to clean any corrosion off, getting both the terminal and the metal it bolts to until it's shiny again. Also, take a look at the main power wire going from the battery to the alternator. If that connection is loose or corroded, it might seem like the alternator's the problem, but tightening that connection could save you a lot of hassle. Now, if you've gone through all of this, cleaned terminals, checked voltage, inspected grounds, and you're still showing low voltage, it's likely that your alternator is indeed bad. But here's a tip. They don't always fail suddenly. You might hear whining noises or notice dimming headlights as signs that your alternator is on its last legs. Replacing an alternator isn't too bad if you're up for it. You'll spend about 2 to 4 hours if you're taking your time, and it could run you between $150 and $400 for the part. If you take it to a shop, though, you're looking at around $500 to $900. depending on labor and parts. Before you buy a new one, check your local auto parts store. Many offer free alternator testing right on the car. And while you're at it, take a look at your serpentine belt. If it's cracked or loose, that could be slipping and affecting the alternator's performance. So to wrap it up, always start with the basics. Clean those terminals, test your voltage, check your grounds, and only then consider that alternator. Thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully you feel a little more equipped to tackle that battery light issue on your Honda. Have you ever had a car issue that turned out to be something simple? I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, drive safe. I'll catch you in the next episode.